Whoa!
Here we are, I guess, on the eve of the funeral of Star Wars, produced, filmed, and presented by Film Threat tomorrow evening, that we have to watch the last episode of The Acolyte. This is going to be pretty much off the cuff. I do have my notes, and I'm just going to be reading through them, so this will not be a very polished product. It's just something we need to talk about. It finally ended, hopefully for good, because as much content as we've gotten out of it, good gracious, this is torturing my soul to have to watch it every week. There's a reason why we haven't, for the last 2 or 3 episodes, we haven't put out a video. We're all just dead on the inside, much like Soul, but you'll find that out. So what I'm going to do, and I have no idea what it's called, but I'm going to show you. Well, I can't show that because I just doodling on the screen. I mean, on the page before we started this episode, and there are some lascivious things in there, which I know Leslie wanted to put in, and she kind of did towards the end. Well, she freaking Raylos. Let me just try to run out this clock so I can start cussing, because off the cuff, some things with this amount of emotion, with this amount of the dark side in me, language gonna fly. So my first question, starting this out, is how did they not expect a normal common viewer, especially since they're releasing them weekly? How did they expect them to not forget the main storyline when you literally? So it's been 2 weeks now, because the last week's episode had nothing of importance. It was a flashback episode from someone else's point of view, and we find out here in this one that doesn't even matter, because Osha does not want to hear the full context. She don't give a crap. She takes her sister's advice at face value and acts on it. And I'm just going to spoil it right now. She kills Soul through a force choke. Yep, there's that. Oh, by the way, it does start out with heavy breathing again. I guess these chicks are just used to heart palpitations, because this how every freaking episode opens up. It's just this time she's back in her Darth Maul helmet, or not Darth Maul. She's back in our Kylo Ren, Smilo Ren helmet. She's in a helmet of some kind, so we don't know if she's losing oxygen. This would be thinking way too hard and too deeply into this, so we're not even going to talk about that. Chick likes to breathe heavy. I guess when you have small tits, you want to do anything you can to make them appear larger, so you try to put air in that diaphragm to make them more attractive to the Asian men who can't. Well, let's not say that. Um, so, oh goodness, this is freaking crazy out the butt. Now, we know why Pip is now magically siding with May, and that's because she hit the reset button. She didn't even need the tip of a ballpoint pen or a little toothpick or even like a Q-tip without the cotton on there in order to get into that little small hole that hits the reset. No, you just use her little thumb. But now he sides with her. Guess what? Who else sides with her? Radigan. For some reason, stops Soul from knocking her out of the freaking air. Of course, they have to bring up the targeting system from A New Hope, otherwise known as Star Wars, the way it was originally released. Why does he do that? Oh, the world may never know. That's probably for season 2, I'm assuming. They introduced future Sing, not a prophecy, just seeing into the future. That's what it is. And she can change the future by doing it herself. Okay, make that one make sense. May, while she's in restraints and supposedly Saul has just told his story, and she can just do this with a droid that can walk around on its own and do other things on its own. Apparently, he left her armed. So that thing releases her restraint so she can shock the shit out of him. It's been long enough now so I can start cussing. There's going to be a lot of that crap. And so he can't sense that anything's wrong. He can't. Are you kidding me? It's just plot contrivance after plot contrivance the whole fucking time. Oh, and by the way, now, you remember in the first couple episodes whenever May has to strap herself into a crashing ship because she doesn't know how to pilot a ship? Now she's an expert pilot. She can go through like a little, I wouldn't call it an asteroid field, but somewhere close along those lines, skimming against the moon outside of Brendock. Now she can expertly pilot that out of nowhere without a co-pilot, without an autopilot, for no reason. Because plot contrivance. Yes, we got a crack ton of those. And also, for her starship, she needs a steering wheel. Even when in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when young Anakin gets in the Naboo starfighter and he starts piloting in it, it's using a joystick. It's like, I'll try spinning. Spinning's always a good trick. He's not using a steering wheel. Well, there you go. Let's just constantly put crap in there all the time. All the stuff from modern day life. We don't want to talk about a world from a galaxy far, far away in a future or past distance. We don't know because it doesn't exist on our plane. No, we have to make everything about modern day. All right. So what's the next thing? We get a teaser from Darth Plagueis watching them from the shadows, almost like a Jawa in A New Hope. There's also another little teaser. I'm just going to spoil it because fuck this fucking show. They put Yoda at the end. No, they don't get Frank Oz in there to talk. This. Yep. So let's. We have a fight. And one. Let's. What episode was that? Was that 4 or 5? Where Kamir just single-handedly takes on like 10 to 11 Jedi, somewhere around there, and he kills 9 of them by himself with no help. Well, now we have a one-on fight with Saul, and now Saul is finally using his battle powers. He has leveled up and finally chosen to choose his attributes on the RPG menu. That's basically what's happened. Oh, now he is competent. Get the fuck out of here. He's using powers that he could have been using. Oh, and there's a point in this episode where he senses something wrong. It's like, we didn't sense anything wrong. When you knew that was May, you knew she had a death wish on you, and you just let her finagle her way out of restraints all the way to the point where she's shocking you with a stun gun. You couldn't sense any of that crap, could you? You're emotional just like a fucking female. Sorry, women, not sorry. Learn to control your emotions. Which is apparently another theme in this thing, is that Jedi don't know how to control their emotions. That's why the Senate doesn't trust them. Even though the Jedi are supposed to be the height of the power right now. The height of the Republic. This is supposed to be the time where everything is the strongest and the Jedi are the protectors of the realm. Apparently not in Leslie Headland's bullshit arc. The only reason why we know whenever they get into a fight that it is Kamir is that he pulls out his little double blade again, his little Asian pecker, but doesn't ever use it to his advantage. It's almost like not only are they swinging at the lightsabers and they're too far spaced apart, the choreography is fucking horrible. They're too far spaced apart to actually do any damage rather than a little singe if they make the wrong blocking move. But he's using the two blades together, one significantly shorter than the other one, not using them in tandem and making him actually think and focus on what's going on. I thought that was just horrible choreography. And then Soul ends up cutting the dude's lightsaber off. So it's like, oh, you don't have that anymore. Freaking stupid. Okay, so there's something I'm going to say. No, it didn't come to fruition. But so when Osha and May actually meet up again, now Osha's wearing black and May is wearing white. Oh my goodness, what could that be telegraphing? Is that their heart and mindsets are changing? As if we didn't freaking see the yin and the yang from I'm getting mad. From Kilnaka's cabin and what they tried to do in the lesbian temple since the beginning. They're telegraphing what's gonna happen. Now, here was my theory, which I did not see happen in this one. When they first were rumors that, oh, they're just one consciousness split into two people, immediate thing that I thought was the movie Silent Hill 2 Revelations. And that is where I almost called her Samara, because that is where we find out near the end that Alessa and Sharon are the same entity. One side, the completely evil, focused on hatred, greed for what happened to her, and Sharon, the good light side. And then they intertwine, and then there's like the pyramid head fight with none other than Trinity. Oh, look where she's showing up again. That didn't actually happen. That was just a theory that I had. And it didn't come to fruition, but I still wanted to say it because I was proud of myself for it. Here's the next thing I have to say. A woman. This is when Osha starts to find out because May tells her, she's like, you tell her what actually happened. He killed our mother. Is it true? Is it true? And then she starts to force stroke him without letting him explain, without any context. She just does that crap. And I just wrote, a woman acting on emotions without full context. Bitch. You wouldn't be alive without him. A lot of things wouldn't have happened without a lot of things happening. That's kind of like the butterfly effect. That's kind of like every single instance in human life. That's what happens with free will. That's what happens to all of us. Like, what the hell is wrong with you writers? If it's an allegory to real life, then Leslie killed her stepdad, or her sister did, and her stepdad was just trying to make the best of a bad situation. So if we're going to take this story as her personal story from her real life, and that's the allegory that we want to take on, that's basically exactly what happened. Apparently, a guy that got swept under the rug by Harvey Weinstein shoving a sausage somewhere, and her getting paid for it. So whenever they are tracking her down, we finally get a green bald bitch in there. Osha and May are running away together. And the Jedi show up all pompous and gay, and they're just like marching. They're not running, jogging, even though green-haired Vanestra, or excuse me, hair, I gave that person way too much leeway. The green bald bitch says she knows exactly where they are, and so they march like this. Meanwhile, let's be honest, they're jogging because twerking takes a lot of it takes a lot of energy. It makes you a little bit tired after you're doing that when you're making a diss track. Because let's be honest, twerking takes a lot out of you. It requires a lot of energy, even though you're standing in one place and you're just making all your muscles twitch. But it does require a lot of energy. There's a part where we get to Kamir, and apparently he's a member of the Men in Black. I don't know why he wasn't wearing a black suit, but he can just erase minds. Well, that was introduced before, wasn't it? Spoiler alert. No, it wasn't. No, it totally wasn't. I am trying to keep my sanity. We go back and all right. I'm just going to go to where the cover up that we all knew was going to happen. First of all, Keanu Mundi, also Kiadi Mundi, is no longer mentioned, never shows up again. But there is a cover up by Bald Green Bitch. This is where it all starts. And guess what she's wearing on both lapels? As if she's a military officer. The rebellion patch. Yeah. The rebellion wasn't a thing for at this point. I know you want to keep playing with timelines, but at least 150 years until after this. But no. I'm sure there might be something in the AU book, something obscure where that insignia shows up, but go fuck yourself. No, that was member berries. That's the only reason why I was put in there. I'm not buying it. I will only take social recourse from Ryan Kennel or Star Wars Theory. It's basically the only person I'll listen to if they're like, oh, actually, go fuck yourself. You know that was stupid. You know that had no business being in there. So we're done with that. And the only reason why the cover-up succeeds is because of the mind wipe. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then Vanestra, I think that girl's name, she does a whole lot of dark side stuff by immediately manipulating someone whose mind has been wiped, which is a very dark side kind of thing to do, yet you consider yourself one of the highest before you get to the High Council. It's all extremely dark side. It's all extremely not the way that a real Jedi, much less a Jedi with, that level would have. I mean, they wouldn't be that way. They would definitely, I mean, if Yoda is the High Council member, which we know he is anyway, and we didn't need them to show it, he would have known all this crap. He would have put her through rigorous training. And by proxy, they're also dumbing down Yoda because this is apparently 150 years before the events of the prequels, episode 1, 2, and 3. So they're already showing, whether they mean to or not, that Yoda is incompetent as the leader of the High Council. Because he didn't see any of this. He didn't sense any of this. None of this is coming to fruition. Oh, goodness. And by the way, the OG Jedi, the original 4, I failed to see where they did anything wrong. I really do. I failed to see how they made any mistake other than like a flub, as in, added salt to a dish when you should have added pepper. I don't freaking get it. I'm still trying to comprehend and process what's going on, but I'm freaking done talking about it. Thank God this season is over. Tell me what y'all think. Put it in the comments. Do something, rage out. Or if you actually like it, bless your heart. This is Multi-Multi from the GCA. Bye bye.